going to be doing some really cool drone stuff. We're going to be pitting 3 of the best drone mapping softwares against each other out here in this open field. Mainly because I'm getting ready to teach a training course on drone search and rescue, and I really want to make sure I know what I'm talking about before I have a dozen people out here looking to me for advice. How did this happen? Today I'm going to be going out here into my orchard and I'm going to be putting down a bunch of different colored items to see how well these 3 different drone softwares find them. We're going to be using 2 classics on the channel, the automated drone image analysis tool from TexSAR, MapNOVA, and we're going to be trying a new software, at least new to me, which is Eagle Eyes. And we're going to be seeing how well all of these programs find different colored items out here. So let's get to work throwing out various items, getting the drone up in the air, and seeing how well we can find this stuff. All right, so I'm going to be placing the various items out here mainly next to big tufts of grass because I want to be able to make sure I can find them again when I come out here to gather them. Because some of them are my favorite pieces of clothing, like my donut operator's shirt. We've got a couple different colors that will really stand out against the backdrop out here. For instance, if I put a green shirt or a brown shirt out here, I don't think we're going to find them on anything because we're going to get so many false positives that it's going to tell me the entire orchard is my shirt. So we've got pink, we've got red, we've got yellows and oranges and blacks. We're going to see how well the software can find them. Now, ideally, this would be a completely blind test, but don't worry. The sanctity of this test is secure in my incompetence to remember where I've put everything out here. This is a very big orchard. I don't know what I'm doing. Where's that? Once I get in the air, where's this going to be out here in this whole place? I have no idea. It's a secret and a surprise for all of us. Here's my inbred cat shirt because my personality is completely based off of YouTubers and their clothing. Well, I guess I might as well fix some of the orchard stuff while I'm out here. Freaking badgers. All right, we have thrown out all of our clothing items. Let's go put up the M30T because I actually haven't flown any mapping missions with the M30T yet. Everything I've done has been on the Mavic 3T. But since we have the M30T for our search and rescue drone, I figured this would be a good test because that's what we're going to be using on our training day. So let's go put it up in the air and fly this line. So we're going to be using the DJI Flight Hub 2 that's built right into this controller. Off we go.
I had originally planned to just have one line of clothing items to fly at several different altitudes for the program to try and pick out. I ended up scrapping this idea, but I still have the video footage that I was going to use. How well were you able to pick out the items just by watching this video of us flying over?
All right, now we go back to the studio and we start running all of these photos and videos through the various programs.
So we're going to be using the exact same image data set for MapNOVA, ADIAT, and Eagle Eyes, all from the training that I held out there. It gives the software a lot more data to work with, and it keeps everything exactly the same. So all of this was flown right around 320 feet high and should really give us a good idea of which one works the best. So we're going to start off with the software that I've used the most, which is the automated drone image analysis tool from TexSAR, ADIAT for short. So in order to use ADIAT, all I have to do is launch the app, which you see right here, automated drone image analysis tool version 1.5.0, and it's pretty straightforward. The user interface for ADIAT is very, very simple and easy to learn. You go to your input folder, hit select, and we're going to go straight here to this drone training class that I held right here. We're going to select that folder. For output, I just have a simple image analysis folder right here, and we'll select that. For our object identifier color, we're going to have yellow. And then we're going to pick our colors and our color range, everything we want to do from there. The algorithm is exactly how the software searches for stuff, and it has a couple different to play with, such as color range, matched filter, RX anomaly, and MR map algorithm. You can also search for temperature range and temperature anomaly if you decide to go out there and fly a mapping mission using your infrared camera on your drone. But for right now, we're going to use matched filter, which should be fairly easy. Now, if you've been around this channel for quite some time, you've heard me remark on the fact that that blue is the least common found color in nature. So we're going to try that first. We'll come up here. We'll do light blue because it was a pretty sunny day out there, and simply hit start. And you'll see right there, start image processing 369 files. It's going to go through every single one of these photos over here, and it's going to search them for that color. And you'll see, as it searches them, they pop up on the screen. No areas of interest found means that it didn't find anything in that photo. When it says areas of interest found, that means that in that photo somewhere, there are a couple of pixels that line up with that color and the search algorithm parameters that we've given them. So we're going to sit here and let it do all of the searching and see exactly how long it takes. I can't give you the exact specs on my computer because I'm a nerd about many other things, and CPUs and GPUs is not one of them. But I have a pretty good home-built computer that's pretty powerful for processing stuff like this. That's one of the big things about the ADIAT is that it uses your own hardware. It doesn't have to have internet access in order to upload those photos and search through them on someone else's cloud. It does it all with your own hardware, meaning you can use anything from a laptop to a big beefy gaming computer, kind of like mine. This is a kind of double-edged sword because if you have a slow laptop, it's going to take a lot longer, but if you have a fast computer, it'll take something like, for instance, 93.65 seconds to search a total of 369 images. It says it found 141 images with areas of interest identified. So now we're going to come over here and we're going to view results and see if it found anything. So this right here is for sure a false positive. I can tell you exactly what this is. This is one of the carton wrappers that we have around our trees out there. The baby trees need to be protected from sprays and whatnot. So we have them wrapped in these wrappers in order to protect them from sprays and everything for at least the first 2 or so years of life. So we can zoom in and see that it did indeed find a couple of pixels that are blue in color, but I think that's mostly just from shadows and whatnot. These might have bluish writing on them, but it's not enough to warrant seeing. So this is what we would call a false positive. Now, what is this right here? Yep, that's another carton. So we'll see how hard of a time it has finding colors of blue in it. We're just going to skip through until we find something.
Hello there.
Literally the next photo. You can see right here, this is the blue jumpsuit that I tossed out there. It's just your standard wear for working in the shop, getting greasy and whatnot. And it found that this is in photo 18 of 369, and it picked it out pretty well. You probably picked that out flying over, but again, if you just wanted to go out there and fly a mapping mission really, really quick, and then come back and go through all of the data set and search for it, you got a clue right there. You got something to go off of. Next image, so it just picks it out in every single one that it flies over. Good. Carton, carton, carton. Oh, no, what's that? That is a shirt. That appears to be, if I had to guess, my inbred cat shirt, because that's pretty white. Still, picked it out, and you can see from all the way up here, that's a pretty good thing to pick out. Not exactly sure how it got blue on it, but you know what? It found it. A couple other little items around there. Let's keep going. I want to see if I can find my Ukrainian shirt. Let's see. There we go. Found another shirt. Sweet. That's pretty bright color blue. But you can see, if just looking at the screen right here, there's a chance you could pass over that pretty easy. And this picks it out right there. Found that all the way up in the top left corner of this. Picked out that same jumpsuit that we saw earlier. That's pretty good. Same shirt. I'm just curious to see if it picks up the little blue ball that I threw out here. Oh, that's good right there. So when I held this training for my guys and gals on my team, none of them were able to pick out the guy that was laying into bushes. I took poor Mr. Abernathy on what is probably his final adventure of the channel out here and dunked him into bushes. So you can see it picked out his blue jeans. This is his blue jeans, and then you can see right here is one of his boots, another boot, camo jacket, and then his head is in there somewhere too. The fact it picked out, I mean, that's a pretty significant... There's a lot going on in this photo right here. And the fact that it picked it out is pretty good. Really good, even. I mean, that's essentially simulating a missing person right there. And it found him. That's another tree wrapper. And that's, actually, that might be his pants. I don't know. That was like 2 months ago. So you get the gist. Picked out blue pretty quickly. Took 93 seconds, so a minute and a half to process almost 400 photos, and it found 3 areas of interest really, really quick. I'm telling you, ADIAT, phenomenal tool, and the best part is it's open source and free. All right, let's see if it can find that pink shirt. I'm gonna be curious to see how well it finds this pink shirt, because there was a lot of sunshine during this day, and it made a lot of the colors wash out way more than I expected to. But we make lemonade from lemons. When we're out in the field, we don't get to choose what the weather looks like. If we're out there on a search and we're trying to find someone who's wearing a pretty pink shirt out there, we have our job to do when we're told to do it. We got to work with what we got. So it's finished searching for pink, and similar to searching for blue, it took just about 93 seconds. That's still quite good, because if you're sitting out there in the field, you can process all these images and then get that drone right back up in the air. Let's see those results. I don't know how it got pink from that, but that's again has to do with the algorithm that I'm searching for. There is one of my orange jackets I put out there. I can see how it would get pink from there with the shading and whatnot. We're getting a lot of false positives out there. Probably have to try a different algorithm. They found my chainsaw. So you can see with the matching filter, it picks up on a lot of different colors, but I mean, that's not always a bad thing, because again, colors change into shading. And it found us, the big part is, it found us another clue out here. Found the chainsaw, which did not pick out when I was searching for the color blue, because that was right there. I would have skipped right over it. Hey, that's one of the shirts I threw out there. That's a plaid shirt. Sweet. That is one of my gas cans that I left out there, so that's good. It's picking up the color red, although it was probably a little more pink, especially in the bright sunshine. I know it shows more pink on here, but it's quite faded, and again, it was quite bright. That's actually really interesting right there. So we're back to where I hid Mr. Abernathy, and it picked out pink on his camouflage jacket. The fact it found camouflage at all without throwing a ton of false positives is pretty huge. It's not the world's greatest camouflage, but hey, really, really good to know. Good job. I think that's actually a red shirt. Why is that so pixelated? Am I gonna die in 7 days? So it looks like it did not find my donut operator shirt that I hid out there, but that's all right. It found a bunch of other stuff, and with the light, pretty sure that pink shirt was showing up as white. And the problem with if we wanted to search for white right now is we'd get nothing but false positives, because holy smokes, there's just so much out there from all the cartons. All right, let's pick another color. Let's go with yellow. And let's change things around right now. Let's do color range. Let's try color range yellow. Well, that kind of ruled stuff out, didn't it? Let's try matched filter yellow. Areas of limit exceeded. So that tells me that it's picking up probably every single carton out there or every piece of stick as yellow. Let's do orange. Matched filter orange. Although it's probably going to get plenty because a lot of it looks like dirt. Nope, there we go. It's finding some. Sweet. Looking for orange. 64 images total found. Let's view the results. And yep, automatically finding that shirt. And like I said, threw a couple of false positives to the ground. There's our chainsaw and our shirt again. Another chainsaw. And the gas can. It picks up red with the orange, because again, it's kind of a matched filter. That's why I use matched filter. So ADIAT is a really great software, and there's a lot you can do with it. I usually use match filter because it's very quick, gets me results. Sometimes there's false positives, but it's a great baseline. Talk to the guys over at ADIAT and TexSAR if you're having any issues and you want to really dial in your search results. I'm just kind of giving a bare bones exactly how I make it all work for me. I really like matched filter. Makes things really easy, especially for stuff like this. But there's so much more you can do with it than what I'm doing. So going back really quickly, again, this third one, 91 seconds. So still pretty fast, because I took 3 colors right there, blue, pink, and orange, which are 3 very, very different colors. And in total, if you just count the processing time, what's that, 270 seconds? 270 divided by 60, 20, 40, so 5 minutes total processing time, give or take, for all of those things that I just searched for right there. That's pretty good, because you could have your team sitting down at the computer going through all this color finder stuff while your guys are out there still searching with the drone. Really, really good stuff. Love ADIAT. Give them a download, give them a like, give them some love. Especially Charlie. Charlie's such a great dude. He's helped me out with this stuff so much. We're going to call that good for ADIAT. Let's switch over to MapNOVA. So MapNOVA is another great software to use for drone search and rescue, and mainly firefighting, but I mostly use it for SAR. So all you have to do for MapNOVA is you sign on, and then you'll have your whole workspace here. Here's multiple other projects I have, and just come up here, add a project, and we'll change this to Color Finder Test. Load it up, and we're going to create Color Finder, import images, and then we simply come here to our image folder, select them all, drop them in, and it's going to sit there and stage them, essentially making sure they're all ready for upload. You can see it's just sitting here and populating them all. We'll wait for that to finish and hit upload. Now with MapNOVA, you can do all sorts of stuff with the same image set. You can create orthomosaics, you can generate heat maps, you can create maps that you can then put over to CalTopo. You can even live stream soon when they come out with it. There's so much to love about MapNOVA. It's a great all-in-one drone search and rescue firefighting software. I can't recommend it enough. So that's going to sit there and upload, and we will sit and wait. All right, MapNOVA's doing its thing. It's uploading. I have very, very terrible internet at my house. I could set the Starlink out there and just hook it up to that, but no. I already used all of my data for the Starlink to download the Oblivion remaster faster because I have no patience. While it's doing this, let's switch over to Eagle Eyes. All right, so Eagle Eyes is something that I haven't really used before. It's something that I'm testing out for the first time. So I feel like this is kind of fair to everything, because again, at the end of the day, we're not trying to sit here and say this one's better, use this one instead. These are all completely different price points. ADIAT is free, MapNOVA is $500 a year, and Eagle Eyes is fairly more expensive. This is how much the price is right here. I can't remember off the top of my head. I requested a key to use it, try it out, do a video on it, and they were kind enough to give me one, but you do have to pay for this software. I've watched a tutorial. I have not really worked with it all of that much because I've been busy, but I know enough to really show you exactly how it works. So for Eagle Eyes, you simply come over here, add a video or live stream to the list. We're going to add a folder, and we'll go to the exact same place that we've been getting everything from. So one of the cool things about Eagle Eyes, you can actually do video on, which I'll play around with a little bit more before my key expires. But for now, we just upload that same folder, and we're going to scan the selected image with Eagle Eyes. It's going to use default mode, all this stuff, run selected model, and it's going to sit here and go through each single one. And look at that. So that's kind of interesting. You can see it did pick it out in that one. Not that one, not that one, not that one, but it did pick it out in that one. Interesting. Now, one of the cool things about Eagle Eyes right now is I didn't tell it exactly to look for a color. I basically just have it looking for anything out of the ordinary, anything colored. So it picked out blue and it picked out orange. So you can sit here and go through it all. What did it pick out right there? Oh yeah, it's just another carton. Found the blue shirt, found the orange coat. So one of the cool things I really like about Eagle Eyes so far is the fact that it is rendering everything while you're going. You can sit there and have the results almost immediately. I wish I could see exactly how long it took, but I mean, you saw I hit search and started going, and now I can just go straight through the photos while it's looking through all of the other photos as we're going. Found another carton. Found the blue shirt again. Found the gas can. I don't think it's found a chainsaw yet. What is that? It's just a dirt mound. You can see I got badgers out here. Freaking badgers. I didn't know there were badgers in California until they started destroying my orchards. Hey, there we go. Found Mr. Abernathy. That's really good. That's about the hardest test I've got right there, because it could blend in pretty easy. But it found it. Found that red shirt. Sweet. So again, I mentioned it before, but it's finding all of these colors without me having to directly tell it exactly what color I'm looking for. The fact none of them have really picked up on that pink shirt, though, is kind of concerning to me. But again, can't deal with the light. Well, that's the first one to pick out our flush valve. Maybe I just didn't go far enough, but the fact that it found... I mean, that blue should have shown up earlier, but hey, at least it found it. Found the red shirt again. So see, right there. Pretty sure that's my donut shirt. And none of it has gotten picked up. It's really interesting to me that not a single one has picked that shirt out. So I'd say all in all, Eagle Eyes did pretty good. It definitely missed a couple things I was hoping it would find, like that shirt right there. I think that's my yellow cat shirt. Wish I would have found that, but hey, can't have everything. The fact it was able to search for all the colors at once is pretty big, and it did it really fast. It's finding all that stuff over there. But it did not pick out the chainsaw and did not pick out a couple of the other items that ADIAT did. But hey, I'd say works really good. It's really nice to be able to not have to tell it exactly what to search for. It's kind of searching for different algorithms and whatnot. It works. Works pretty good. I like it. I want to play around with it some more. Let's look through the video together. So this right here is the actual video that I took of when I threw out those clothing bits, the first part. And this is going to be flying right around 100 or so feet. Let's see how well. So it's picking out all those colors right there. So this is one of the big things, like there's very few other drone softwares I know of that are able to do it on video playback. That's just a tree. It picked it out for 1 second, but it didn't pick out the other color. Interesting. But it's picking out all those trees. Oh, it picked out the red shirt, of course, didn't pick out that black shirt. Hey, it picked out the yellow shirt that time, but it didn't pick out the pink shirt right next to it. Picked out that blue, did not pick out that blue. That's strange. Huh. So I want to remind everyone again that I'm not out here trying to pick favorites, and I'm not trying to do a deep dive into the technical aspects of how each one of these works. I'm basically trying to give you the gist of how things work, and trying to show you what it would be like as someone just picking up the software, how it would work for them. I'm sure there are so many different ways that I can fine-tooth, get this right down to the brass tacks, technique, all those other allegories or metaphors or whatever they are. This is just showing exactly how it works by picking it up and using the default settings. I'm sure I could pick up all that stuff if I messed around with it a little bit more, but I think you get the point. Eagle Eyes, pretty good software. Use a little more tweaking here and there, I think, but hey, it's how we all learn. We learn by doing and putting our product out there and seeing how it performs. We are over here. We are still waiting for all of these to get ready to upload. So I'm going to sit here and let Nova finish uploading all of its stuff because I have to get ready for a meeting. The ironic thing about me working on Nova right now is the fact I'm getting ready to go meet with a couple of the Nova guys for dinner. But don't worry, I'm not going to let the fact that I'm meeting with them give any sort of bias to this video. I'm being completely unbiased, not trying to smack talk any one of these programs. I'm just trying to see what the pros and cons to each one of these are and give it to you guys. So I'm going to let this do its thing. I'm going to go to my meeting and then I'm going to get dinner, and I will continue this later on. So that way, if you see the lighting change, that's what's going on. I've lost a lot of my natural light. All right, I'm back. It's definitely not the next morning. So let's get right back to it and check out Nova. You can see everything here has been uploaded. It's all on their servers now, and we can view the color data. So looking through their color finder, theirs is a little bit different. Instead of telling it exactly what you wanted to search for, it scans every one of the photos and gives you this readout and all of this gradient right here to show you what colors it has found in it. That's actually really fascinating, a really great way to use that, because now you can see most of the colors are all your greens, browns, yellows, the standards of that that come with the orchard ground. But you can see there's a couple different ones where it shows high amounts of blue and high amounts of pink. Now, we know for a fact after doing a couple of these, the blues and pinks are out there. Oh god. So you can see over here, you can filter by colors, which allows you to search through it a little bit more. Draw polygons on the color graph to filter specific colors in the data set. Let's try that. Let's try searching for blue. Okay, cool. So you can see that I've filtered out this, well, I filtered in the blue colors, and then it's highlighted that exact spot on the photo itself, and then you can also click on it to open it up. I've just got to see, is there a way to make the photo bigger? That's really cool. I'm going to need a second monitor at this point. Alright, so we found blue works fairly well. Let's search for pink. Or red. Wow, I am not the world's greatest painter. Alright, so it's showing them we got some pink right here. That's really cool. I really like that. This is really intuitive. Really easy to use. I'm only having a couple minor technical difficulties that if I had actually gone through the whole onboarding process for how this works, I'm sure I would have figured this out a lot easier. But not having to mess around with algorithms and telling exactly what I'm trying to find, is just checks out the entire data set and gives you a graph of all the different colors that it finds in there, and then being able to search those exact colors and filter everything else out. That's a really, really cool way of doing it. So to keep in mind, this is the first time I've actually used the image color finder on Nova. I mostly use it for orthomosaic creation for search and rescue and firefighting operations. This is the first time I've actually used the color finder portion of it, which is really freaking cool. I'm really enjoying this. Okay, so we found blue, found pink. Now let's see. Let's show an orange in there. Takes a bit while to load because of my donkey-powered internet. Yep, and so even just clicking on that orange on the gradient, I can see the orange jacket right there. That's really, really useful. Yeah, this is really, really good. I'm trying to see what other colors we can find in here. I doubt we could find Mr. Abernathy, but let's try. Nope, I can tell that's not going to be him because we're up on that end of the field. Yep, so it only picks up a little bit of blue right there, and mostly it's white. Yeah, so this is one of the things that this works really good, but I would still run it through ADIAT because the ADIAT picked out Mr. Abernathy without me having to go out and look for him. So all of these tools have really, really great features. Let's go ahead and break down the pros and cons of each one right now. At the end of the day, all three of these softwares are incredible pieces of technology that you should consider adding to your kit. ADIAT is free, Eagle Eyes is $400 a year, and Nova is $540 a year, but can be billed monthly. ADIAT and Eagle Eyes are both standalone programs, while Nova comes with multiple features. ADIAT is more of a manual search program, while Eagle Eyes is fairly automatic, and Nova is more of a hybrid between the two of them. ADIAT features a very intuitive UI, while Eagle Eyes feels quite bare bones, and Nova kind of throws a ton of information at you all at once. ADIAT and Eagle Eyes are both available for use offline, while Nova requires you to be online so that their data center can process all of your information. One thing all three of these programs share, though, is active developers who truly stand behind their product and are more than happy to help you out with any sort of questions you need. which is something I actually want to talk about for a second. This video was filmed before I had a chance to sit down and meet with the developers of Nova, and before I had a chance to reach out and really chat with the guys from Eagle Eyes. So if it felt like I used ADIAT a lot more than the other two on this video, it's because it's just what I'm most comfortable with and what I've used the most. There's some information I very likely could have gotten wrong or may be outdated by the time you watch this video, so please don't take anything in this video as a knock against any of these softwares. I highly recommend you at least try a free trial of each one and see how you enjoy them. I love all three of these programs, that's why I've made a half-hour video on them, and I'm sure you will too. So that's going to wrap it up for this three-way video between Nova, ADIAT, and Eagle Eyes. Hopefully at the end of the day, you learned a little something about these programs and have kind of narrowed down the one you would like to incorporate into your drone search and rescue, firefighting, emergency response, farming program, whatever you use drones for. Hopefully this has helped you kind of get to know them a little bit better. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, consider subscribing. Number go up makes me happy. If you want to follow me on all the other social medias, I've got a Twitter, I've got a Facebook, I've got an Instagram that you can follow me on there. But regardless, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.